Hello, this is News Mongolian MNB World. I'm your host, Jugder Rambold. And for our top stories, copper demand is expected to exceed supply in 2026. Erdenet Mining Corporation invests in reforestation. Physical punishment such as spanking or hitting has a detrimental impact on a child's immune system. For the news, stay with us. The price of copper has reached $9,000 per ton, marking 20% growth and reaching its peak in the last 14 months. This surge comes amid a steady rise in global market demand for copper, following industrial sector growth.
Copper is a cornerstone of Mongolia's economic landscape, accounting for 27% of the nation's gross domestic product. Copper extraction and production form an integral part of Mongolia's economic engine. Copper also plays a vital role in Mongolia's international trade, as mineral resources represent a 92% share of the country's export revenue. Mongolia's mineral resource reserves have attracted a significant influx of foreign investment, with copper projects accounting for 77% of the country's total foreign investment. Economists believe the growth in copper prices will have a positive impact on the Mongolian economy.
With the growth in copper prices, the price of Oyu-Tolgoi copper concentrate is expected to rise, leading to increased income tax revenue from the Oyu-Tolgoi mine. Additionally, copper industry suppliers are poised to benefit from this upward trend.
Mongolia's substantial reserve of copper is estimated at 56.5 million tons, with 1.5 million tons of copper concentrate exported annually. Plans for 2024 and 2025 include an increase in copper concentrate exports to around 2 million tons. Economists expect this positive trend to continue, signaling promising prospects for Mongolia's copper industry. We anticipate the upward trajectory in copper prices will be sustained over a more extended period in comparison to coal. While the surge in coal prices may be temporary, the positive momentum in copper presents Mongolia with a unique opportunity to capitalize on current market trends. This presents Mongolia with a crucial window to maximize copper exports and build foreign currency reserves. These reserves can then be channeled into financing other sectors, fostering economic diversification and resilience. According to recent forecasts by Wood Mackenzie, a leading energy, metals, and mining research and consultancy firm, the global demand for copper is poised to surpass its supply as early as 2026. Projections indicate a growing gap between demand and supply, reaching a deficit of up to 7 million tons by 2031.
In a shift toward environmental sustainability, mining companies are increasingly recognizing the crucial role of reforestation and the tree planting initiatives in their corporate responsibility agendas. One standout leader in this movement is Erdenet Mining Corporation, with its goal to plant over 100 million trees.
Understanding the importance of forests in combating climate change, preserving biodiversity, and promoting ecological balance, Erdenet Mining Corporation has embarked on an ambitious journey to offset its environmental impact through proactive reforestation efforts. Closely collaborating with communities, environmental organizations, and governmental agencies, Erdenet Mining Corporation has allocated significant resources to reclaiming degraded lands, restoring ecosystems, and promoting sustainable forestry practices in areas affected by its mining operations. Erdenet Mining Corporation has achieved significant milestones in reforestation, having planted 3.4 million trees and storing an additional 500 100,000 trees, seedlings, enhancing its resources for future initiatives. The introduction of an automated tree nursery promises increased efficiency and effectiveness in the tree planting process. In a commendable demonstration of environmental stewardship, Erdenet Mining Corporation is actively participating in the 1 billion trees campaign, contributing to global conservation efforts and setting a positive example for the industry.
With every tree we plant, we take a proactive step toward mitigating the impacts of climate change by reducing carbon dioxide emissions.
The benefits of Erdenet Mining Corporation's reforestation and tree planting initiatives extend beyond ecological restoration. By investing in reforestation, the company aims to mitigate carbon emissions, enhance ecosystem services, and create economic opportunities for area residents. After reaching the goal of planting 100 million trees, the company plans to continue its tree planting efforts. To do so, it established the Forest Genetic Reserve Center and the Soil Innovation Technology Center, which currently houses seeds for 12 different tree species.
The company's ambitious plan for reforestation efforts is unfolding in 3 stages. In the first stage, an annual capacity incubation center will be established with the capability to nurture 12 million seedlings annually. Moving into the second stage, slated for 2025 to 2028, the scope of operations will expand. Finally, in the third stage, from 2028 to 2030, the focus will shift to planting trees in the Hangai and Gobi regions, crucial steps toward ecological restoration and biodiversity conservation. Each tree has its own unique habitat and environmental requirements. From the lush forests of the Hangai Mountains to the arid expanses of the Gobi, each species thrives in its own unique environment. We are working to grow trees that can survive and adapt to their respective environments.
By integrating reforestation and tree planting into its corporate strategy, Erdenet Mining Corporation sets a compelling example for the mining industry, demonstrating that environmental conservation and profitable mining operations are not mutually exclusive.
Scientists argue that physically hitting and beating children can harm their immune systems. Researchers worldwide are investigating whether the rising incidence of cancer in modern times might be linked to psychological trauma and the violence experienced during childhood. These negative childhood experiences can significantly impact a child's quality of life persisting into adulthood.
When a child is spanked or punished, their muscles tense up. A fearful and restless child who consistently tightens their muscles can compromise their immune system, making them more susceptible to disease. This early psychological trauma can directly influence the child's future success, including their earning potential and quality of life. Experts note that such psychological trauma in childhood is not easily cured. Past events and memories cannot be erased from a child's mind, like wiping a computer's memory clean. However, depending on the nature of negative memories, it is possible to offer guidance to the child to prevent repeating mistakes in future endeavors and to arrange for psychotherapy sessions to help them cope and heal. A child who has suffered psychological trauma may withdraw from society, become insecure, and become less engaged in social activity. They may also tend to blame themselves for everything due to a lack of self-confidence, impacting their future interactions and relationships. Numerous studies have demonstrated that a child's disruptive behavior often resumes after just 30 seconds of physical punishment. This evidence underscores that physical punishment is not an effective method of child rearing. Neglectful violence is the most prevalent form of violence against children in Mongolian society. Surprisingly, many parents are unaware that their actions constitute neglectful violence. Furthermore, it has been concluded that the parent's level of education does not determine instances of hitting, beating, or violence within family settings.
While violence may be somewhat linked to the parent's level of education, the family environment and the influence of the parent's upbringing on the child play a more significant role. Parents must learn positive parenting techniques and set a good example to positively influence their children and others around them.
Children represent our future, and the kind of society we shape depends greatly on the roles played by parents. A family environment marked by violence can have profoundly negative impacts on the future. Research indicates that children exposed to violence during upbringing are more inclined to perpetuate violence themselves later in life. In essence, the quality of the family environment in which children are raised will significantly influence the individuals they become and the future trajectory of Mongolia.
Now please take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now please have foreign news partnered with international news agencies. Canadian police say they arrested 3 suspects in the slaying of a Sikh separatist leader last June that became the center of a diplomatic spat with India, and are investigating possible ties between the detainees and the Indian government.
Police say the 3 suspects are Indian nationals in their 20s who were arrested in Edmonton, Alberta on Friday morning. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sparked a diplomatic feud with India in September when he said that there were credible allegations of Indian involvement in the slaying of Nijar.
I need to begin, somewhat awkwardly perhaps, but importantly, to acknowledge the arrests that were made in relation to the murder of Mr. Nijar. As the RCMP stated, the investigation remains ongoing, as does a separate and distinct investigation not limited to the involvement of the 3 people arrested yesterday. This is important because Canada is a rule of law country with a strong and independent justice system, as well as a fundamental commitment to protecting all its citizens. I know that many Canadians, particularly members of the Sikh community, are feeling uneasy and perhaps even frightened right now. Well, every Canadian has the fundamental right to live safely and free from discrimination and threats of violence in Canada. Let us not allow events to change us. Let us remain calm. Let us remain steadfast in our commitment to our democratic principles and our system of justice. This is who we are and what we do as Canadians.
India had accused Nijar of links to terrorism but angrily denied involvement in the slaying. Hardeep Singh Nijar was born in the district of Jalandhar in the North Indian state of Punjab. As a young man in 1997, he moved to Canada where he married, had 2 sons and worked as a plumber. Settled in the province of British Columbia, he's also made a name of himself as a vocal advocate for the creation of Khalistan, a separate homeland for Sikhs, who are a religious minority that makes up 2% of India's population. All of the accused are Indian citizens and have been non-permanent residents of Canada for 3 to 5 years. Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers told reporters at their Friday press conference announcing the charges. Sources told CBC News the men arrived in Canada on temporary visas after 2021, some of them student visas. None are believed to have pursued education while in Canada. None have obtained permanent residency.
All right, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a nice day.